Hey fellow questers, make sure to catch up on the entire Dragon Quest X saga from beginning to end with this convenient playlist located in this card or the description down below.
So 5.5 begins with us sitting on our throne with the 3 other demon rulers giving us the state on what's going on in the demon world. Valeria says the pollution of the demon world is getting worse, Asval says people are suffering from a disease caused by magic, and Yushka says the city of Gora also has this problem. However, Yushka says that Farazard is doing okay for now, with Lutiana gone. Nobody is here to stop Jaganova. Yushka refuses to give up, and then we hear a voice. So the goddess of the wind, Eldona, speaks to us and says even though her mother Lutiana was defeated, her soul is still sleeping at the bottom of the River of Light. We need to get the power of the flowers from the World Tree from the priestess Himea from the beginning elf story who is the guardian of the World Tree. We explain the situation and Yushka joins us as Asval and Valeria go back to their kingdoms. We head back to Ethine and Yushka is contemplating how people don't know the danger that is coming. Hana the pig comes to us and greets Yushka, and also Shinny arrives and says that we need to wait till tomorrow to leave because he has something to tell us, and a messenger from Tuskull shared an important message. So the message is that Maiden Himea will be doing her final mission on the World Tree and will be ending her life. We have a feast, and during the campfire we begin telling Yushka our amazing feats and journeys throughout all the parts. Yushka talks about his experiences in the demon world, and Shinny says that the more he talks to Yushka, the less he understands him. And after telling our story, Yushka says we're a way more amazing person than when he picked us up and brought us back to life. So we go to the World Tree and see Maiden Himea with Yushka. Himea says that we must unite to stop Jaganova and she will bring us the flowers of the World Tree. And if she takes the flowers out of her, she's gonna die, but she's willing to go and she will miss her children saying farewell and it's time to fulfill her destiny. And Yushka says they definitely need her flowers for sure after all the countermeasures in the demon world have been used. Yushka asks if there's any other ways rather than sacrificing Himea's life, but she explains how she lived for over 500 years and began summoning the flowers of the World Tree from her body. Before she gives us the flowers, she has one request saying that if her actions don't amount to anything, a new guardian of the World Tree will be selected, but if the root of all evil is destroyed, the guardian of the World Tree will finish its role and Himea will be the final guardian. And her final request is for us to beat Jaganova. We will, Maiden Himea. So after that we take the flowers of the World Tree and Himea tells us to go to Finatoka and the Holy Light Priest will show us how to use the flowers. So Yushka leaves and Himea says that we have followed a strange fate and that we are the right person to lead Astoltia to a bright future. Himea begins to feel woozy and collapses, and she's picked up by the ghost of Kohaku, who was her former lover, and she still feels uncertainties in this world, and Kohaku is proud of her and will be taking her away, saying to become the wind and watch the future of the world, watching the breath of the young leaves. Himea and Kohaku's spirits now ascend to the heavens as her physical body falls. Oh my god, Himea! Godspeed to you! So we go to Finatoka and the Holy Light Priest sends us to the River of Light where we see the light of the goddess. But we see a hand from a freaky skeleton grab the light and says everything is empty. He says his name is Vanitatos, the evil god of nothingness who controls oblivion, who is ordered by Jaganova to look for the soul of the goddess. And Vanitatos offers to give us a hug and says our lives are valueless. Don't hug me, you bag of bones! And luckily we do have Yushka for most of these boss battles who can turn bosses into metal statues. After we defeat Vanitatos, he says no matter what, nothingness is the only thing that awaits us. He tears apart the fabric of time and space and laughs that the beginning of the end is coming. We use the flower of the World Tree to get the soul of the goddess and a butterfly comes out. So we go back to our castle and Carlo gives us a report saying that big demons are appearing everywhere. We show everyone the flower of the World Tree and reassure everyone that we can stop the demons. Carlo says that the magic mound in the Jalim Baja desert has been reactivated. We all go to the magic mountain which is surrounded by a massive dark mist and Lutiana comes out and purifies the area with her light. The mist goes away and Yushka talks about his childhood from 300 years ago, and his father was a jeweler that led a caravan in the desert. Even though his friends had no blood connection, they were like a family together. Yushka was learning the business trying to become the #1 jeweler in the demon world. He was left behind by the group to learn how the business in Necrodia works with Najin and was grateful to his father. And after that Yushka learns that his father's caravan disappears and a mound appeared where they were killed, and Yushka began traveling the world and see why the mounds appeared. Yushka met his master Sage Marine and she told him that the mounds were appearing in the demon world. He began traveling as a jeweler and told the tragedy of his father to everyone he could in the demon world. And there was a time he was thrown out and made fun of by guards saying that he needs help getting rid of the demons. No matter where he went, nobody wanted to help him. Yushka wanted to become the Demon King to move people's hearts in order to help him get rid of the bad demons. He's glad that he met us because we're carrying the fate of the world since we became the great Demon King. A messenger from Baldista arrives with a message from Valeria and says that the Abyss Gate and the path to Zahadigal Iwamine is blocked, so we head over to Baldista and talk to Valeria. We ask Valeria if she can get rid of the barrier around Zahadigal Iwamine, but Veltro says they sent a force over there to deal with the demons, but they were killed. So they had to put a barrier, and Valeria is worried that Irusha is gone, so there's no way to contain the magic mount. We summon Lutiana as a butterfly and give Valeria confidence that we can contain the threat. So Valeria gives Veltro the order to unlock Zahadigal Iwamine, and we can use the Abyss Jewel to warp there. At Zahadigal Iwamine, Lutiana says the evil demons are terrorizing the lives of the people, so we need to stop the demons. So Lutiana purifies the area and all the people can move again. So one of the guards shows us that he found Lord Mawson's headpiece. A guard from Zekles arrives and tells us to talk to Asval. We talk to Asval and he says that one of the magic mounts is reactivated and they took measures not knowing how long they will last. And Asval says a thief invaded the underground treasure house and took the talisman of Leto and also left a letter. And the letter is actually from our sibling! So the letter says our siblings survived with Lord Mawson's costume and will be playing their final role with the life they have remaining. The letter also says that Jaganova is hiding in the evil Garden of the Stars, which is underground in the demon world below Farazard after the Great Demon period. Our sibling needed Leto's talisman in order to access the way to the garden, and that Jaganova has been hunting our sibling down so they can't join us. And our sibling will try to get a trump card to help us as we protect the world as the Great Demon King. The letter ends with our sibling thanking us and saying they love us very much. So we explain the situation that Lord Mawson was our sibling and why we had to hide that fact so they can protect the world from Jaganova. And Yushka asks if we're going to help our sibling and will support us. And Asval also support us too, and we head to Farazard going through the underground waterway. Our sibling is at the portal gate and wonders why Leto's talisman isn't working, and we arrive with Yushka. Suddenly all these balls of energy appear and attack our sibling, which knocks them out, and we have to do a series of boss battles. After defeating the bosses, we rush to our sibling and Lutiana comes out and says our sibling's soul is corrupted with demonic forces, and Lutiana absorbs them. Even though the demonic forces have been removed, our sibling's life is still endangered by a horrifying spell deep within their body. Lutiana says we need to visit the spiritual world inside our sibling's body, see what's holding onto their soul, and we're the only ones who can enter because we're close to one another. So we go inside our siblings' memories as Yushka holds off Jaganova's minions. Inside our siblings' memories we see past events, and this time from our siblings' point of view, and we see Narasia inside taunting us. You little booger! So back in Ethine in version 1, our sibling realizes that time has stopped and can't communicate with us as they're warped away. In version 4, we see our sibling interact with Quad, who now has a voice actor. Our sibling says that the curse of time has been activated for them and they can't stay in this era anymore. Quad finds our sibling in a cave and they tell Quad their story of how they got there. And Quad says that they're similar in wanting to return to their hometowns. As they make their way to fulfill their goals, Quad wants to be known as Gilin Lash, the name he took from version 4 when he was grown up in the past Urbea scenario with Princess Urta. And Quad says that Gilin Lash is a word that means return to that day from the kingdom of Ethine. He wants to make sure that our sibling remembers Gilin Lash. Remember, Gilin Lash. Remember it. At the research center in the future where Quad is an adult, he imprisons our sibling because of their Athenial cube and needs Borondium for its research. Our sibling says that Borondium belongs to the Gateria Empire and is asking if Quad wants to start a war with Gateria. Quad says that King Jakuva from Gateria was killed by Beyond Doe, or John Doe. But we know back in version 4 it was you who killed him, Quad. Our sibling knows that Quad killed Jakuva even though Jakuva wanted to make peace. And Quad is mad that if they waited too long, they can't go back to their hometowns, which is why he wanted the Borondium faster and claims he doesn't have the time to wait. Quad asks if our sibling is immortal because they haven't changed since they first met and that the value of time was completely different between them. And Quad wasn't happy with his progress with time traveling since the Athenial cube was going too slow, and he just wants to be an ordinary person but is doomed to stay in this time forever and can never return to his hometown. And Quad doesn't care if he commits crimes to be able to go back to his hometown, and if the Athenial cube is completed, his suffering can end. Now we go back to the Jiden temple and see the first encounter between our sibling and Lord Mawson. Our sibling is wondering if we'll ever see each other again after our encounter in version 4. The previous Lord Mawson appears and notices our sibling has a troublesome curse where they can't stay in one era for too long because of the curse of time, and our sibling is too scared to be truly alone. Lord Mawson says because of their fate, our sibling is the right person to become his successor. The one who becomes the new Lord Mawson will have to make a contract with the darkness, and that will remove the time of curse our sibling has. Our sibling is hesitant to make a contract with the source of darkness which attacks Astoltia, but Lord Mawson says that our sibling can can decide what to do with the power of Lord Masin. Our sibling agrees with the contract to be freed of their curse and vows to suppress the darkness and will wait for us in the demon world. And Lord Masin brings our sibling to the temple and passes his powers onto them, freeing them from the curse of time. And after chasing our sibling through many worlds, they tell us they can't come back and are ready to die, but gets grabbed by these hands belonging to the curse of the source of darkness, who says our sibling is still cursed and asks who our sibling is to us. But can we even call them our sibling without a blood connection, since we were born in the past and sent to the future, which was revealed in version 4? And is it possible to even call a sibling who never gets old or dies our sibling? And our sibling has caused a lot of confusion in the world, being the successor of Lord Masin, and even knowing their sins, can we still call them our sibling? Yes we can, you evil red-eyed bastard! And the curse of the source of darkness says that our sibling has caused nothing but trouble, and we say that they're still our sibling and we can go back to Ething together. And now our sibling is freed and has a nifty new outfit and says that their contract with Jaganova is over, but the curse of the source of darkness says that he will never forgive us and says the contract is made of blood, is a rule of steel, and will last until it dies. So the curse of the source of darkness says that our false bond has no meaning and we should remain forever in this prison of extinction, engaging in another boss battle where we team up with our sibling. And after we defeat the curse of the source of darkness, the contract finally disappears and our sibling goes Super Saiyan, saying that they're our sibling and nobody else. Now our sibling is free from both the curse of time and darkness, and they're happy they can now remain in the same time as us. And Lutiana arrives and creates a doorway for us to exit with our siblings, saying we have a world to protect. Yeah, once we're back in Ethine with Shinny, everything's gonna be back to the way it was. So we arrive back with Yushka still fighting Jaganova's orbs, and then Narasia arrives. You little punk, I'm gonna strangle you!
It looks like you're finally out. Are you both okay?
Amazing. Amazing! It is an unprecedented feat to release the contractor from my curse. Ryan, you truly are something I never expected. That's right. Would you like to be a guest at my castle? I'd love to discuss something with you. Please be my guest of honor.
No! This is the evil abyss that traps you inside the darkness. You must never touch it.
Oh, Lutiana, you should just learn to butt out. You lost to me and are like a cockroach who just came back. Oh, how much more will you make me laugh? Now, come with me, my little PogChamp. I'll make you into a real great demon king.
Jaganova. I'm really disappointed. You really don't have any foresight, do you? It seems you really want this guy, but sad to say, he's not really the one that you want. A savior who saved Astoltia many times, blessed by the tribal gods, loved by the goddess, and blessed with a dazzling light. Oh, and also, he came to the demon world to fight on our side. This is the type of guy he is. Kinda hard to dye this guy with the power of light into darkness. I think there's someone more suitable for that. The great demon lords are a pretty interesting bunch. But I'm probably the most interesting of them all, my friend. I've got skills they don't have. If you join forces with me, I'll show you a newer, more exciting world that nobody can ever bring you. Things that only you alone can rule. I nominate myself, the great demon lord Yushka. I alone am suitable to be the new great demon king. Choose me. O great Jaganova, the god of destruction!
Let's make your wish come true.
See ya. Najin, when you protected me, didn't you think the same way? This is the path I chose.
The source of darkness is gathering the demons somewhere else. What does this mean? No way.
We tell Farazard that Yushka was taken and we bring our sibling to the medical room back in our castle. Dr. Mu says that our sibling will recover and Shish Kebab's men come into the room with Gilgamesh from Farazard. And Gilgamesh says she's glad we're okay and was surprised what Yushka did, saying that nobody else could be like Najin. Without a king in Farazard, Gilgamesh says she wants to team up with Astoltia and that Yushka says that cooperation is the most important thing and to never give up hope. So can we rescue Yushka and defeat Jaganova? Find out on the next exciting episode of Dragon Quest X, thus ending the first part of version 5.5. We start off the second half of version 5.5 hearing Yushka's voice in a dream and see a bright light in front of us. Yushka, I can totally hear you, buddy. You must have great reception where you are. Yushka says he was finally able to contact us telepathically in our dreams and doesn't have a lot of time left. He gives us a vision of the underground waterway and a very purple looking place and says that the final battle for the fate of the world is about to begin. The hands come out and we wake up from the dream. We're surrounded by our friends after we were apparently unconscious in the throne room. Hey man, you would totally pass out too if your pal Yushka was kidnapped by some kid who calls himself the god of destruction. And Dr. Mu asks if there's something wrong with us and we tell everyone about the dream with Yushka and where we need to go next. Lutiana comes out and tells everyone that the world is about to head towards destruction as Jaganova has unleashed the Seal of Perdition, which will pierce the River of Light and destroy Astoltia and all the demon world. And Lucia asks how we were able to contact Yushka, and Sage Marine says since we made a blood pact with him, that's how we're able to stay in touch. Because blood is thicker than smartphones. Sage Marine says that Yushka mastered the art of the blood pact, trying to help Najin after Najin lost his eye. After hearing all of this, Asval praises Yushka for trying to save our life and Valeria wonders how we can find Jaganova in the Sea of Miasma. Then suddenly a guard arrives and tells us our sibling has finally woken up, so we all go to the infirmary. Our sibling is feeling a bit better despite having some trouble moving their body and recognizes Anne Lucia from the time they briefly saw each other in Nadragond in version 3. And Lucia is surprised that our sibling was Lord Mawson, and that's why Anne Lucia was protected from Jaganova. Our sibling tells us that the miasma flows from the underground water veins from the demon world and how they ended up washing ashore the Zahigadal rocks, and Lord Mawson's costume protected them from the miasma. Our sibling tells us that they took the talisman of Leto and headed to the altar of Zard but got attacked by a demonic miasma spirit. They're certain that Jaganova is in the evil garden of the ruined stars beyond the Sea of Miasma. Sage Marine suggests we go to the Goda temple, and our sibling tells us a story of how Lord Mawson told them how after Jaganova was sealed away, the demon world was cut off from Astoltia and the remaining humans who were trapped in the demon world became demons. There were demons who gained power from the miasma and were unable to contain the power of it, which ended up killing them. Luckily, the Goda tribe was able to find a way to deal with the miasma led by a demon named Goda. Goda covered the temple of Jaganova with a great mass rock and left his son Jadin to watch over it and led demons into Astoltia. This was done to prevent grudges and resentment from demons from using Jaganova to produce more demon miasma. Goda passed on the duties of the demon world to his son Jadin, thus beginning the era of the Great Demon King and Lord Demoness. Lord Mawson didn't have the great leadership of his father Goda, but was able to protect the order of the demon world by selecting the most powerful demon suitable to be the Great Demon King. A demon named Varuzard was able to take Goda's strategy one step further and sought to counter Jaganova. He saw the great source of darkness lay in the Sea of Miasma below the Jaganova temple. Varuzard worked with Lord Mawson to create the Sea Beast, the only creature capable of breaking through the miasma. Sadly, it took so long to develop and create the Sea Beast that Varuzard was unable to see its completion as he died of old age. Thousands of years passed and the altar of Zard is where Varuzard left the means to communicate with the sea beast. If we can summon Varuzard's sea monster, we can head over to Jaganova's location. Our sibling was unable to contact the sea beast from the altar and tried using Lidos' talisman but failed. As we make our plan to go to the evil garden of the ruined stars, Valeria is confident she can kick the asses of everyone standing in our way. I totally believe you, Valeria, having been on the receiving end of one of your attacks before. Everybody is feeling determined and we're given Lidos' talisman, but our sibling is still hurting from their injury and says Lidos' talisman hasn't regained its full power yet. So we head over to the Temple of Goda and talk to Grand Mage Lido's spirit to free the talisman's power, and we have to say in Japanese, Lido is my friend. That's right, Lido is my bestest buddy in the whole world. We play fantasy football together, or should I say, Final Fantasy football. We're now at the underground waterway at the altar of Zard and give the fully powered talisman to our sibling, and they use it to summon Brulatos, the sea demon beast. Reminds me of Cetacea from Dragon Quest XI, like his evil brother or something. Our sibling was also able to restore Brulatos' power after it was taken away by Jaganova many years ago. Sage Marine is determined to finish what her apprentice Yushka started, and Ana Lucia feels we can conquer anything as long as we're by her side. Aw, that's so sweet, Ana Lucia. Call me later. Veltro wishes Valeria a safe journey, but Valeria says if she doesn't come back, he'll be in charge of Baldista. However, Veltro feels confident that Valeria will return, and Asval thanks Rinberry for seeing him off. I'm surprised Rinberry would come to a place like this. And Rinberry gets in front of Asval and says she won't forgive him if he doesn't come back and will burn him to ashes, as a joke. I don't know who's worse, Rinberry or Valeria. And Asval swears he'll protect the land that his mother loved and will not give up on his people and himself. And then Rinberry massively blushes as Asval goes. Our sibling would have joined us, but they need their body to recover, so it's up to us, and they give us the Great Demon King seal as we head off on Brulatos to finally settle things with Jaganova. As we're riding Brulatos, Sage Marine comments the amount of demon miasma is so intense that she can't even see ahead. We hear Yushka's voice and connect with him, which helps guide the way. A whole bunch of evil hands appear and Lutiana comes out and shields us from them. Just like blocking trolls on Twitter and my YouTube comments. Lutiana feels drained and needs to rest for a while as we finally arrive at the evil garden of the ruined stars. Oh wow, it's an endless supply of grape juice, filled with demon miasma. Yummy! We hear Yushka's voice and head into Jaganova's stronghold, where we must use Sage Marine's jewels to get across these chasms. We fight a few bosses who are knockoffs of the Holy Guardians, the game's toughest super bosses, and after defeating them we try to use the seal of the Great Demon King to proceed, but we can't because the elevator that leads below needs the life force of 4 beings to proceed.
Go, Great Demon King, the one I now recognize as our savior. If you don't take victory into your own hands, you'll never know.
I'm really proud to be of service for the greatest Demon King of them all. I know you can defeat the Root of Darkness for sure.
The crown of wisdom, the purple throne, Marine the wise. I will make a fool of myself here. I want you to be my apprentice.
The Demon Lords and a great sage, along with the power of the hero. We will banish the darkness that blocks your path. Now go, Ryan! You can save the world!
Now hurry, Ryan. Get here soon. You must kill me.
I'll try to do this without killing you, Yushka. Just hang on! And after our friends use their powers to open the final elevator, we go down below into a pretty crazy dungeon with Tetris puzzle elevators. Once we reach the epicenter, we're finally reunited with Yushka. However, he's been infused with the evil dark power of the miasma. He's glad that he was still able to lead us here while he still had some sense left in him. Yushka explains the forbiddenness of the blood pack he gave us at the start of version 5 and how it led to this fate, that we were destined to kill Yushka, who saved our life. Yushka feels like he's beginning to slip into the darkness and has no idea of how much longer he has left and asks us to kill him, and we reluctantly agree. Farewell, my friend. However, Narasia begins to take control of Yushka as his demonic hands come out. Narasia, you little punk! Narasia then talks about how arrogant Yushka used to be, how he used to look down upon others, treating them as servants and thought he was super arrogant. This is the reason why Narasia chose Yushka to join him.
The true Demon King has yet to be chosen. Why don't we decide it here? I'll make him the great Demon King he's always wanted to be, as an offering. I'll sacrifice his body to the power of the source of darkness. You're so boring looking. Now, become the arrogant and resentful person you once were. The true PogChamp!
I feel a lot of energy from the bottom of my stomach. So this is the source of darkness. Not bad. You think you're the great Demon King? A man who has nothing to offer. The one with nothing to bear. You are nothing more than my servants. I'll show you here and now. I'm the real PogChamp here. I, Yushka, will lead the demon world. A world where I rule. I will turn the hatred that plagues the demon world into the wings of flame and rule Astoltia and save the demon world. I am the true great Demon King!
Whoa! Yushka became a dragon in a Dragon Quest game! Just like Estella's dragon form, so Estella Yushka?
There can't be two Demon Kings in this world. I'm sure you'll be happy I agree on that.
I am Yushka the Great, false Demon King. Bow before me in submission.
So after we defeat Dragon Yushka, Narasia is surprised and says his ideals were nothing to him, so he has to perish. He snaps his fingers, putting Dragon Yushka in pain, as Yushka screams that cooperation was the strongest force of all and swore to save the demon world with us. We avoid being grabbed by the hands, but hear a young voice mentioning the Sword of Astron and using it on Yushka to turn him into iron, just like General Zobris back in Necrodia. With great hesitation, we stab Yushka with the Sword of Astron, and Narasia is making fun of us saying, killing your friend is cooperation? Shut your mouth! As we stab Dragon Yushka, we see a flashback to both when Yushka and Najin were kids, and Yushka is complaining that nobody is listening to him about the Great Demon Age. However, a young Najin says he should stand up for what he believes in and that Yushka should be a king. Young Yushka, inspired from Najin's words, vows to be the Great Demon King, and Najin is inspired to create the Sword of Astron that could save the demon world. Yushka keeps running until he falls down, and then we see Yushka as an adult, saying that he and Najin were supposed to change the demon world together, and content with dying, he could finally rest with Najin. However, the Sword of Astron is pointed at Yushka by Najin, and Najin reminds Yushka that to stop dreaming is the same as dying. Najin says he was in a deep sleep and that his soul is unstable, so this may be the last time they speak. Najin asks Yushka if he's still willing to fight, and Yushka grabs the Sword of Astron. Najin says that Yushka can make it on his own now, and says he can't really help it if he lost his body, and says that Yushka is the light that he lost. Najin walks away as Yushka now grips the Sword of Astron, but Najin turns around in shock at what Yushka just did, which is the blood pact with Najin's spirit, saying that Najin will share his life and spirit with him and will be a second in command until the day that he dies. Najin puts his hand on the sword, and now we're back in the real world. The Sword of Astron flashes on Dragon Yushka's iron body and shatters, bringing Yushka back to normal.
What's going on?
Najin!
It's Super Saiyan Yushka!
My soul is now your sword, here and forever.
Jaganuba, the god of destruction. I've come back from the depths of hell to defeat you.
For the crime of taunting my king and insulting his ideals, answer for it with your own death.
No matter how much you resist, the result will be the same. But the possibility of cooperation makes me want to look into it a bit more. I'll be waiting for you at the true depths of this world, where not even the slightest light can reach.
Thank you, Ryan. After all, you were indispensable to us.
Let's save the world together, my friend. Even if you take me down to those depths, Najin and I will protect you together. Let's go, Great Demon King. We must defeat Jaganuba, the god of destruction.
Now we finally confront Narasia in front of Jaganova, and he says we may have the potential to be the most powerful in this world, and even though we were born into the world of light, our path has been far from blessed. Hey kiddo, everyone has hardships in life. I still gotta deal with Twitter and YouTube comments. And Narasia tells us that we're such a swell guy since we saved the world and how demons are even fighting on our side, saying that we're both a mixture of light and dark, a collaboration that will put an end to the War of the Gods. Narasia also says we're the embodiment of an unknown concept, even unknown to the gods, and gives us one last offer to join him and become the true Demon King. No way, man. Even if you offer to localize Dragon Quest X in English, I will not join you. Narasia tries to take us by force as Lutiana protects us, and Yushka is still mad that Narasia twisted the arrogance inside of him, and is wondering if he was chosen as the Great Demon King, his beliefs would be warped. After taunting Lutiana, Narasia's eyes go into Jaganova mode, and he goes inside Jaganova's body. We prepare for battle as Jaganova wakes up and tells us that darkness can exist without the light. And after we defeat Jaganova in a pretty tough battle, he comments on how we're both the embodiment of light and dark and wonders if this is truly the power of cooperation that Yushka was talking about. And he throws the usual villain temper tantrum and Lutiana vows to destroy him, and Lutiana shines brightly as Jaganova tries hard to resist and begins to overpower Lutiana. Jaganova comments on how light and darkness are always in constant battle, and their fight will never end as much as he tried to destroy Astoltia in hatred and rage. I am Jaganova, ultimate internet troll!
Jaganova also says the stronger the light, the darker the shadow becomes, and wants to swallow up all the light, declaring it his method of cooperation. After absorbing Lutiana's light, he becomes his second form. Just remember, kids, all Dragon Quest final bosses have 2 final forms. And his second form looks like a shriveled up old man. You know, I gotta admit his final form is a bit underwhelming compared to past Dragon Quest bosses, but don't judge a book by its cover. We try to escape from Jaganova, and Lutiana takes her full body and tries to fire an arrow at him to no avail. The shadow behind him gets bigger and his hands restrain Lutiana. He crushes Lutiana, and her last words are for us to protect the world as the flower from Yggdrasil finally breaks apart. And Yushka and Najin protect us from Jaganova's hands, and Yushka vows to never give up. Yushka ponders a way to fight Jaganova as Jaganova gloats that he's finally found true cooperation. One last remaining petal from Lutiana falls into our hands.
Listen, children of Astoltia. The source of great darkness has awakened, and the world is about to be ruined. There are warriors who are confronting the destruction, who overcame the shackles of their differences, now working together. Children of Astoltia, please lend your power to those who continue to fight and challenge the darkness. Pray, wish, think. You have the power to protect them, the brilliance of the soul that flutters. Listen, Astoltia's children who live in the demon world. There was once a time I separated the demon world as a polluted land to protect the world from evil. Even after all this time, people's hearts were not lost. Your appearances have been changed, but that was a mistake. Children of the demon world, please pray for those who fight the darkness. A power is born there. An unparalleled effect that surpasses even a god. My dear children, it is now time to unite with Astoltia.
Yes, give us your energy, just like the end of Dragon Ball Z. Hashtag localized Dragon Quest X.
Ryan, can you feel the light from everyone in Astoltia? All of the adventures you've experienced, the bonds you've forged with your comrades, hand in hand along your arduous journey, will now dispel the darkness. Demon King Yushka, and the noble soul that resides inside the sword. I entrust you with my power. and with the blade of your creation, you will sweep away the darkness and localize Dragon Quest X.
The Sword of Astron is the sword that will save the world.
With our hopes and our dreams, we will help people play Dragon Quest X.
Enough! This game will never be in English. There are no plans for a worldwide release.
And with the classic Dragon Quest X boss theme playing, we now finally enter the final battle with Jaganova. Now, the final battle with Jaganova is very long, and we see all the friends we made cheer us on as we see these awesome looking cheers as we fight.
And this is the most Dragon Ball Z battle in all of Dragon Quest.
And after we defeat Jaganova, he's a pretty sore loser as the combined power of everyone in Astoltia and the Demon World proves to be overwhelming to Jaganova as Yushka remarks that everyone has a desire to protect the ones that they care about. As Jaganova tries to attack us again, all of our friends arrive and we raise our hands Dragon Ball Z Genki Dama style, saying this is true cooperation, totally advertising the Mina Dien books. And then our combined power destroys Jaganova for good.
Irusha? Is that you?
So Lutiana congratulates us on finally vanquishing the source of the Great Darkness and putting an end to a war that lasted since the beginning of time. Without Jaganuba's influence, no more demon miasma will be created. Lutiana says she can no longer help us and hopes we can stay strong.
We will, Lutiana. We will.
And Lucia and Yushka contemplate on how conflict will always exist in all worlds, and Yushka will never forget the day when Astoltia and the Demon World teamed up to defeat the God of Destruction. We have the power to shape the future, and us, the hero, standing between both worlds is proof of that.
I'm glad you all voted for me!
Lutiana believes in the new future that we will be building, and we all warp back. Lutiana returns to the River of Light and will dispel the residue of darkness. She thanks the children of Astoltia, and we ride on Brutalos and give a thumbs up as Ann Lucia runs to give us a hug.
Give me a hug, Ann Lucia! Oh wait, you're hugging my game self. Oh, okay.
So word spreads all over the world that we defeated Jaganova and we celebrate back at our castle. Lord Mawson lets everyone know that we will be building a bright new future by having Astoltia and the Demon World join hands and our legend will live on forever.
Yay!
Yushka comes over to talk to us saying that things have been a little boring since we defeated Jaganova, but praises us even though we started off our relationship as Demon Lord and Servant. Yushka's glad that we became the Great Demon King and thanks us for everything.
Well, I couldn't have done it without my running mate Yushka.
Yushka realizes he can't tie us up in the Demon World and depend on us forever, and says when people from different worlds come together, a world of true cooperation will come. Yushka gives us a thumbs up as he wants to continue being our friend as different rulers from different worlds. Najin's spirit comforts Yushka, saying that Yushka's definitely grown in a short amount of time, but says you'll have trouble supporting him in political affairs since you know he's kind of a spirit now. Yushka is pretty confident that Najin can still help him out as his sword and second in command. Yushka says he plans to take Najin to see the Blue Sea of Astoltia and maybe bring Asval with him as well, so they can have a fun magical road trip. And Sage Marine is happy we've succeeded, and Yushka wishes that Irusha was here to see all of this. Pepper Ogura pounces on Yushka and demands he gets to talk with us as all of our friends come over and want to also talk with us.
Hey guys, I'll take appointments in my office later.
And Valeria offers to train me and Anna Lucia to get stronger if we have the time.
Well, since you beat us both before, I'm willing to learn Baldista Fu.
and both Estella and Sage Lucienda say that the demon miasma still exists but will all work together to stop it. And just like old times, our sibling and Shinny say that we're so popular with everyone. Hey, I'm kind of the great demon king now, so I got a lot of duties on my plate. So the credits roll, and for the post-credits scene...
When the goddess Lutiana became part of the River of Light again, her will was gone, but she left behind one last wish. I've wanted to live here in this world. Her wish took shape, and at that time, everything is like a dream. I can't remember it all well. Is it okay for me to say I'm home now?
Oh my god! Welcome back, Irusha!
I'm back!
And then we have another credit scene for all the voice actors in Irusha's sketchbook. And then after another post-credit scene, we're in Lendor and see all the citizens look up at the sky and we see various floating islands. Fosdale, the Pukalipo hero from version 1, says it's finally happening. Who was the chosen one? Thus finally ending version 5 and giving us the to be continued text for version 6. Oh man, now that version 5 is finally done, wow, what a roller coaster of emotions this one was. I love how this version was more grounded in the demon world, and rather than being all over the place, and you really got attached to all the characters and spent quite a lot of time with them. My favorite character was probably Irusha, as you felt you didn't want bad things to happen to her, and when you find out she was the vessel for the goddess Lutiana, you were so attached to her that you were sad when she disappeared. But I'm glad she came back! And the best part of version 5 was the interactions and dynamics between all the different characters and how they cooperated towards their goals and what they thought was best for the demon world. Just like all the other versions, version 5 had such a memorable and unique cast of characters that you couldn't help love to death and wanted to see them all succeed and achieve their goals. Also, how amazingly gorgeous the entire demon world was, and all of its unique locations were a sight to look at. In all honesty, I have no idea how version 6 is going to top all of this, and it did feel like this could have been the grand finale of Dragon Quest X because of how truly epic it was, especially the final battle with Jaganova. Had things ended here, I would have been completely satisfied, but I'm glad we're getting a version 6, and I'm sure it will be every bit as epic as all the other versions. If I have to put a ranking on version 5, it's probably my second favorite version next to version 2, which really gave me the feels. I feel that version 5 has as many emotional and epic parts that made me feel motivated as well. Alright everyone, so that ends this episode of awesome video game memories about Dragon Quest X version 5, and oh man, that was a doozy. And I'll see you all next time for Dragon Quest X version 6.
Enough! This game will never be in English. There are no plans for a worldwide release. Hi, this is Gilbert Gottfried. And enough! This game will never be in English. There are no plans for a worldwide release.
Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure to check out these other videos, and also make sure to follow me on social media and check out the official Battle Geek Plus website. Take care.